Hello everyone, John Odom, drum set percussion teacher here with Groove with Passion Drum Lessons. I'm going to go ahead and do a video today, and the purpose of this video, the subject, is to help you guys with limb independence. What is limb independence? Well, limb independence is something that every drummer has to have in order to be able to play this instrument. That means getting our hands and feet to do something different all at the same time. That's a challenge. And it's something that you can continue to develop. Even the top drummers in the world, if you watch them play and see their hands and feet doing something completely different at the same time, simultaneously, they've practiced many hours, okay, to get to that point. And then once you reach, I always tell my students, when you reach a high level of drumming, you have to continue to practice to stay at that level, just like a top athlete, same thing. So today I'm going to take my lesson or use as the learning material a book that I used for a previous lesson. This is the Breaking It Down book. This is an excellent drum method book by Kevin White. Kevin White is based out of Charlotte, North Carolina, excellent drum teacher. Okay, and I'm going to flip over to page 7. What's interesting in this book is he started off the very first page, which first page of exercises is page 7, starts off with eighth notes. My theory on that is that he has everybody take a look at it. If you know how to, if you can go and understand eighth notes, that's great. Start with eighth notes. Of course, you've got to understand how to play with quarter notes also, but sometimes some students, maybe they've got previous experience, they understand eighth notes, all right? So there's 6 exercises on this page. Each exercise is 1 measure long. Each exercise has a repeat sign. So that means that we can, my recommendation, if it's a 1 measure exercise, you need to be able to play it 8 times with no mistakes. If you can play 8 measures and without any mistakes, I believe you've got it down. So when you look at exercise 3 on the page here, and when I have a student first look at this, I'll ask them, and it's a rudiment. I'll say, what rudiment is that? Sometimes they figure it out. Sometimes they don't know, and I'll get them to play it. And they'll go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, oh, it's a single stroke roll. Exactly. It's not written in here, okay, but students or drummers need to be able to recognize that. So how do we work on limb independence? There's so many different exercises you can do for limb independence. One that I have students work on that's pretty simple to implement is to add your feet. Well, how do you add your feet to your rudiments? Well, you don't have to necessarily be sitting at a drum set for this, by the way. This is something you can practice sitting on the couch, sitting in a chair. If your feet are on the floor, if you're tall enough, this is for the smaller kids. It's kind of hard to do because sometimes your feet are dangling in the air. But if you're tall enough, your feet are on the floor, you got your bass drum, you got your hi-hat, it's the floor. But you still play with your hands on your legs, right? Like so. You're still playing with your feet. You're still building that coordination in your brain, that connection between your hands and feet. So how we can do this is we're going to start off with bass drum on 1. Start off with just that first. Now, a lot of times, I may go ahead and have a student try kick on 1, hi-hat on 2, kick on 3, hi-hat on 4. If they can do it, great. If not, if it's all jumbled up and not coming out smooth, we take the hi-hat out. We start with just a kick on 1 and 3. So let me show you how that's going to work. 8th note single strokes, just like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now, you can try keep the kick on 1 and 3, add the hi-hat on 2 and 4. If that gives you trouble, you can also, remember the name of the book, Breaking It Down, meaning we can play 1, 2, 3 limbs at a time, right? We can break it down. We don't have to play everything at once. We break them down and then we build them back up, start adding them together. You can play just your kick and hi-hat, counting 8 notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. When you feel comfortable, add your sticks. Okay, add your 8th notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. There are several different patterns you can play, so I'll start showing those here in just a moment. Then I go to exercise 4, right? Makes sense. 4 comes after 3. So exercise 4 is another rudiment. It's a double stroke roll. Okay, and he wrote it out. 1, right, right, left, left. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now, just because it's written out right hand first doesn't mean we have to play it that way. We can also change it up. Start with our left hand. Now, what's interesting about that is if you start with your right hand on beat 1 and your bass drum, your coordination is going across your body from the left side to the right side. Okay, and yes, we got to be able to play both ways. So if we're going to start with our left hand playing double strokes, bass on 1 and 3, hat on 2 and 4 is going to go just like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and just like so, right? Now, how else can we change that up? Well, a lot of times I have students start with their hi-hat on beat 1. We switch the bass drum over to beat 2, hi-hat on 3, bass drum on 4. Okay. Now, you can start this with the left hand, or you can play it as written, starting with the right hand, just like so. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So you can change it up. It kind of gives a different feel, and it does kind of make you have to kind of rethink what you're doing. I'm not saying it's super difficult. If you have not done this before, it could be. But if you work on it and counting is the key. That way you know where everything lands. With time and practice, repetition, you will get this, okay? So that's the double strokes. Now, from there, I go on down to exercise 6. Exercise 6 is another rudiment. It's the paradiddle. But I have students look at that depending on their experience level. If they've never had drum lessons, I just tell them what it is. But if they've had lessons previously, they look at it and see if they recognize paradiddle, paradiddle. For those of you who don't know, diddle in drumming or drum talk is a double stroke. That's all it is. It's a double stroke. Okay? So paradiddle is made up of 2 single strokes, right, left, right, right, okay, 2, and then a double stroke. Left, right, left, left. So 2 single strokes and a double stroke. If we add our feet with that, it's going to go just like this. And this is a little more tricky because now you're not playing just single strokes. You're not playing just double strokes. Paradiddles are made up of both single strokes and double strokes, like so. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now, previously I mentioned you can switch these up, play the hi-hat on 1 and 3, kick on 2 and 4. But there's a lot more we can do with these. What if we played the bass drum on quarter notes, like what is called 4 on the floor, right? Which is your bass drum on all 4 quarter notes. We play the hi-hat on 2 and 4 with the paradiddle, like so. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And of course, if we can play the bass drum on quarter notes, we can play the hi-hat on all 4 quarter notes. We can play the kick on 1 and 3 like so. I'm going to start with the left hand this time, okay? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now you can certainly, if that gives you a fit, you can play just your paradiddle and your hi-hat like so. Break it down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Now, I've heard from Tommy Igoe, Steve Smith, both of these guys who are two of the top drummers in the world. Both of them do. Well, Tommy Igoe is a teacher. Steve Smith has done some teaching. He's produced a few teaching DVDs. Okay. The key to playing either a difficult groove or a difficult pattern when it comes to limb independence, you got to put something on autopilot. What does autopilot mean in drumming? That means you're not thinking about it. So in this case, I would recommend putting your hi-hat on autopilot, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't think about it. Focus on your paradiddle, okay? Like so. Don't think about the hi-hat. Think about what you're playing on the pad or on the snare drum. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Okay. When you're ready, add the kick drum in. And it's going to, what I played a moment ago, is going to go just like this. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Make sure you're counting. I said that a moment ago. Counting will help you to know where everything is. Okay. Now you can also change it up again. That's the cool thing. One of the cool things about drumming is you can take one pattern and play it several different ways. What if we play the hi-hat on all 4 quarter notes? When we play the bass drum, instead of 1 and 3, we play on 2 and 4, which, by the way, there are times in songs, especially when you're building, and this happens kind of frequently in worship music, especially when you're building, maybe in a bridge, or maybe playing 16ths on the hi-hat, and you're playing a kick on 2 and 4, okay, for a different feel, but that is something you need to be able to learn also. So what if I play the kick on 2 and 4, hi-hat on quarter notes with the paradiddle, like so. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, like so, right? So these are really good, pretty simple coordination exercises. Yes, you can sit with a pad, practice these exercises, you know, or just at your snare drum. But if you're sitting on a drum kit, or even if you're not, if you're sitting in a chair, the couch, don't do this, kids, when you're watching TV with your parents, please. Don't get in trouble for tapping. Sometimes we drummers do. These are great exercises. By adding your feet, not only do you get the benefit of working on your hand technique, right, but you get the benefit, again, of building your limb coordination. Okay, so you can definitely do that. So, right now, currently, I am enrolling new students for drum lessons. I'm currently teaching at Orlando Flamenco del Sur Arts. We are a music and dance school. We are located in the Narcoossee Business Park on Narcoossee Road here in Orlando. Okay. I also go to students' homes, so I teach students privately. I do in-home lessons here in the Central Florida area within a certain driving distance from my house, or it could be from the school, it could be from another student's house. I do also teach online. I teach online right here with Zoom. I do have 2 students who live out of state, so if you're outside of Florida, if you're watching this and interested in drum lessons, or if you know someone who might be interested in drum lessons, great time to start learning. I also teach with Lessons in Your Home. So with Lessons in Your Home, we offer both in-home lessons and online lessons as well. So the contact information for the lessons will be on the video. For lessons online at the school and for private lessons in home, first lesson is free. No obligation. First lesson is free. Lessons in your home, you'd have to arrange that with them. Please give the video a thumbs like, and if you haven't done so, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I want to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed so far. I appreciate that. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys have a great day, and take care.